Greetings, girls. Oh, Karen, it's ever so courageous of you to congregate us during the coronavirus crisis. Yes, talking over tea is always so titillating. How are you, Mel? Oh, well, thank you, darling. Oh, my God, it's gone viral. Penelope, my pussy. Oh, gosh, Penelope, your pussy is absolutely popping, darling. Poppycock, I'd cry. It looks like COVID. Well, you'll never guess who bumped into me yesterday. I'm just dying to tell you divas. Oh my God, what happened? Well, actually, it was Betty who I bumped into, who bought a bit of better butter, because her butter previously was bitter. Remember, to make her batter better. Karen, converse now. Well, you know she's got a boyfriend called Bernie, and you know how people have those little habits that get you down? Like Betty's boyfriend Bernie. Bernie liked to chew gum. No, not chew. Pop! Well, Betty came home one day and she's really irritated. And she's looking for a little bit of sympathy. But there's Bernie lying on the couch, drinking a beer and chewing. No, not chewing. Popping. Well, Betty said to Bernie, "You pop that gum one more time." Oh, and he did. So Betty took the shotgun off the wall, and she fired 2 warning shots into his head. He had it coming. Oh, he had it coming. He only had himself to blame. But if you'd have been there and if you'd have seen it, I bet you that you would have done the same. Well, I can give you an update from what Karen told me. Well, Karen was conversing with Caroline, who was conversing about her companion Kevin. They met in Milton Keynes, and he told her that he was single, so they hit it off right away. They started living together. He'd come home after work, she'd cook dinner, she'd fix him his drink as usual, and then after it was a shabby good time. But then Caroline found out. Single, he told her. Single his arse. Not only was he married. Oh no. He had 6 wives. One of those Mormons, you know. Well, one night when Kevin came home, Caroline fixed his drink as usual. You know, some guys just can't hold their arsenic. Well, he had it coming. Oh, he had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there. If you'd have seen it. I bet you would have both done the same. Girls, listen to me. I've got some drama to discuss with you divas. It's about Vicky. Now, listen to me. Hush up your kebab lips and listen to me. Now, Vicky was in the kitchen at home. She was just in the kitchen cooking chicken for dinner. You know, like your usual roast dinner. Well, in storms her husband Wilbert in a jealous rage. "You've been screwing the milkman," he said. He was crazy. And he kept on screaming, "You've been screwing the milkman!" And then Wilbert ran into Vicky's knife. He ran into her knife 10 times. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. But if you'd have been there and if you'd have seen it, I bet you that you would have done the same. Well, Google says it was a murder, but not a crime. More tea for everyone, darlings. But I think I can top up a story. So, I met a French person when I was working at the A&E. I was like, "Hello, Annie, can I help?" And she was like, "Oh, elle est boulangerie, elle est baguette, elle est ouf." And from what I could understand, she was saying, "I really want an egg baguette." And I said, "Well, what the hell are you talking about?" Well, I all of a sudden had a telephone call from 999. It was the police, telling me that there was a French woman murdering people by smacking people over the head with an egg baguette. Well, all of a sudden, there was a man coming through A&E, battered round the head, apparently by an egg baguette. Oh my God, what happened? Oh, she says she wasn't guilty. Oh, well, Karen, if you think that you're the crown of crisis, bring the crown over to me and listen to this. Now, I was talking to my friend Velma. Now, her and her sister Veronica had a double act, and Velma's husband Charlie travelled around with them. Now, for the last number in their act, they did these acrobatic tricks. There was like 11 to 8 tricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, splits, spread eagles, corona, tomato virus, crab, one right after the other. Now, there was one night that all of them, I was told, they were all having a few drinks and having a few laughs and boozing before the show, and they ran out of ice. So Velma, I was told, Velma went out to get some ice. She came back, opened the door, and there's Veronica and Charlie doing number 17, the spread eagle. Well, Velma was in such a state of shock, she completely blacked out. She couldn't remember a thing. It wasn't until later, until she washed the blood of her hands, she even knew they were dead. They had it coming. They had it coming. If you'd have been there and if you had seen it, I bet you that you would have done the same. Well, I met a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who met Ezekiel Young, who hit it off, and they lived together. But he was very artistic, one of those, you know, sensitive and a painter. And in the evenings, he'd always try and go and find himself. Well, I was told on the way he would meet Gladys, Ruth, Eglantine, and Luigi. Well, apparently, he saw himself as alive. But my friend of a 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 friend saw him dead. He had it coming. Well, he had it coming. Well, they had it coming all along. If you'd have been there and if you had seen it, I bet you that you would have done the same. It was a murder but not a crime. Well, I've just asked Google, and I've just been told that all of these 6 crimes, these women are nothing but a bunch of yams. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, bitchy bitches!